Hey there, everyone. Hello. Oh, lovely. There are a lot of people over here. Thank you for
Hello.
joining in. Um, we'll quickly start the bootcamp in just 1 minute. Till then, I'd like to, know about all of you. Where are you guys from? And more specifically, what uh, the reason before behind joining this bootcamp, or anything that you'd like to say at the start of the session. So feel free to chat it down put it down in the chat section, and I'd love to interact. Where are we joining from? Which cities? Anyone? Is the chat box visible?
Yes, it's visible.
All right, lovely. Oh wow, Ahmedabad, Odisha. Even I'm from Bhopal, Ambika, Patna, eh, Chennai. Oh, such a varied audience. All right, I have my juniors as well from my university. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Oh, from VIT. Lovely. I guess I joined from university ID itself, so but it's fine. No worries. All right, let's begin the session then, right? I'll share my screen. Let me know if it's visible. Is it? Can someone tell me in the chat box if it's visible? Just a thumbs up or anything. Awesome.
Yeah, it's visible.
All right. Thank you so much. So PM Bootcamp is it's all about product management. We'll start from today, and it is a 3 to 4 day full packed. We are starting from scratch. That is, you need not have any knowledge about product management, and at the end of 3 days, you'll have enough knowledge so that you can actually go in for an internship as well. So till that point, you know we learn in this boot camp. So thank you, Girl Script. Thank you, Anubha, and for helping facilitate this bootcamp. So let's begin right away. But before that, I'll just like to give you a quick introduction about myself. So my name is Anmol Jain, and I'm currently the founder of Kagas Incorporation. It's a content firm. Uh, I've also worked in the community uh, since the past year, and I've grown my community to India's largest community for Code Academy. I'm also crypto fanatic. Right now, I know there's a dip, but yeah, I like crypto. I'm also a certified chef. I have a pre-commie degree. Uh, Except this, I've trained around 100 plus students in different skills like career, resume. I do mentorship sessions every month. I'm also a music lover, and I've done a lot of internships. So a lot of means I've cracked a lot of interviews, and I've also pursued two of them in the previous 9 to 10 months. So on a note of motivation, guys, till February 2021, I didn't know about product management. That I didn't even knew that it is a field. And in these 9 months, I've learned and I've grown so much. So definitely, if I can do it, everyone can do it. And product is such a field. It's such a jugadu field, what we say in India, that the Indian mindset really helps in product management. So let's see how it goes for us. This boot camp is supposed to be a 4 day boot camp. So on day one, that is today, we learn the basics: what is product management, what is not product management, all the myths, and also the roles and types of PMs. But I'll just go with PM for the rest of the session. So whatever the PM roles we have in the industry. So we'll talk about it. It's not only about product management. Rather, there are several roles which connect to product management. So if even if you're not interested in core product management, you can pursue these roles and hop product management later in your career. So we'll talk about that on day one. On day two, we'll talk about the skills that are needed. We'll pick point each specific skill that is needed to be a PM. We will also learn about some product tools, the terminologies that are used, and also some metrics, very important metrics that product managers use from day to day life. After that, in the later half of the session tomorrow, we'll also see how to crack PM internships for currently students that are pursuing it. I have a twitch in that on applying on PM internships, so I'll tell you about that as well. On day three, we'll go into core product management. We learn about product frameworks. So frameworks are basically kind of the analogy for algorithm. Softwares work on algorithms, product work on frameworks. So we learn about a lot of frameworks. We look how Facebook uses their framework. We also see case study of Spotify, and there are a lot of different things that we'll do on that day. So that's it for day three. For day four, it's an optional session. We'll plan out some activities as well, and we'll do some question solving, and we'll also try to make a product if you guys are interested, right? So let's straight away begin with day one agenda. So firstly, we'll see the what is product management, similar roles, the PM myths, and also what does a product manager does in their daily life, right? So, guys, what exactly is product management? What do you think is product management? Let me know. Any comments? Any comments? What do you think product management is? Oh, someone said my voice is not correctly coming. Is it fine now?
Yes,
Right?
it's fine.
All right, lovely. So, guys, what thoughts do you have on product management? Do you know about product management, or where have you heard from it? Like, oh, solving product problem at the scale, handling projects, or like one responsible for overall product development. All right, any more? Any more? I think
Gathering the
it.
products which are compatible together.
Uh huh. Yeah, quite correct. Uh, Ravisha says it's. I think it's like a bridge between employees and user experience, analyzing response, working on shortcomings. So that's the closest we've been right now. Managing the features for the product and adding new features, right? Product planning from the scratch till the
Like if
delivery.
I wanna,
Yeah, go ahead,
like
go
if I
ahead.
wanna start like, so I'm going to make products related to that only.
All right.
Basically
So
defining the products according to the customer's needs and understanding the market analysis.
exactly. So that is what, in layman term, we call product management. Is that any product that is there in the market, twitching it or optimizing it to the needs of the consumer or the users, and also at the same time adding new features as the industry grows. So as we already know, we are in the tech era. The tech industry is going at a high scale. Every day there are new products, there are new features, and this year we are on the verge of a pivot point where we have coming in Web3 technologies. So let's see what product management is, right? So, for example, there's a software that you guys are making, right? Now, what a dev will do is he'll do the coding. Uh, the idea part is done as like what whoever the founder of the company is, he'll do the ideation part, and then he'll ask the developer to do make the software, right? He'll ask him to develop it. they'll hire marketing people to market the product. They'll also bring in design people to design the product. Now, what the product manager actually does is he goes in, he pick ups the points, the pick points. For example, where the user is struggling. If there's a product and you are signing up for a product, right? So how easy it is to sign up for the product, how many people are signing in, how many people are coming to the signing in tab but not signing up. So such problems. This is called onboarding basically. So onboarding, then retention, all these things on how a product is working and how its features are being used by the users or the customer is what a product manager works on. So first thing, working on the customer retention and customer usability features. Secondly, as the industry grows, as the product grows, the product manager also gradually adds features. So we'll see to it how he adds features, what are the processes that we do to add features to a existing product. So that is the second thing, right? Adding features to an already existing product. The third thing is analyzing it. So what happens? There are already existing products. There are a lot of products in the marketing with a lot of features. What a product manager needs to do is analyze them on a regular basis so that if one feature of a product is going, it's not working well or it's going down, they, you might need to optimize it or even remove it. So the product manager has this role to do that. So if there is any features that going redundant or that's not complying with the industry or the market, he has to analyze, see the viewpoints and then work on it. So that is the third thing. The fourth thing, guys, is adapting to the industry. That is like, I'll tell you, there were some products earlier that we used to use on a very high scale. For example, let's take a recent example of Clubhouse. So what happened was that in the online mode in the pandemic, everyone wanted to talk and stuff, and then Clubhouse just really boomed up, right? But then after some time, now we see product we are not we are not really using Clubhouse. So what the product manager's job is to make those pivot decisions. Whatever the vision or the product is, he has to take care that it works on a longer run. So having a vision so that the product works on a longer run. For example, for Clubhouse, it didn't work out because, of course, pandemic was not there for a longer period of time. It worked for 1 year, well and good. But what about a 10 year scale, right? So that's what a product management manager also has to do. So first thing was taking care of the team, collaborating with other teams, right? Second was customer research. Third was adding, deploying, optimizing, canceling, or removing features from already existing products. And fourth was developing a vision for a product. So a vision for the product or the company. So that's what the role of product manager. Yeah, we'll provide you. So make sure we'll provide you the recording. I'll make sure of it. Let's see what are the functions. We just saw what things a product manager has to do, but now let's see, in a structured manner, what he actually does, right? So the first step in the functions of PM is researching and planning, right? So basically, this is the ideation stage. You know, there are ideation hackathons. What do? You find an idea to solve or a problem to solve, right? You are not solving it right at the first step. You're just finding an idea that is good enough to be solved. And in product management, the idea should also be scalable, as well as it should also be implementable from a business perspective. So there are a great lot of ideas which are very good in terms of the ideation part, but those just could not be implied because they were not sustainable on a longer run. financially or economically. So product manager in the first stage, or is it not? Is Does the slide say function of a PM? No.
No.
All right.
No.
Now it says it's perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Lovely. So we were talking about the first stage, that is research and planning. So that's one of the function of a product manager. So what actually is researching and planning? It's the ideation stage. So any product, or not necessarily a product. For example, there are already good companies. For example, there's Google, right? So they already have a lot of products. So in their case, it's not about a product, rather it's about a feature. So any new feature, or in startups, any new product. So the first stage is researching and planning out what we are going to give. So usually it for startups and new companies, it's about the vision itself. What they've planned for the product to be is done in the first stage. After a time, when the product is settled and we are adding new features, this stage, the ideation usually comes from brainstorming, or it can come from user research. It can come from the new technology that comes in. It could also be the idea could also come from the competitive analysis, what the competitors are doing. And also sometimes it could be a customer request, right? There, for example, Google, they have a lot of customers, they have a lot of users, they might be getting a lot of requests on what features to add, right? So that is something which comes in the first stage, right? Now in the first stage, there's one more thing, that is a top down or bottom up approach. So what that means is this up what the word approach basically means, where are the ideas coming in from, right? What is the hierarchy that we are following? In top down approach, the founders or the core members of the company, the founding members, usually decide the product vision and the features and everything, and then pass it down to the product manager, and then the product manager passes it down to the teams, the dev teams and the design teams and stuff, right? So that is what happens in a top down approach. But the other part is bottom up approach. So what happens over there? The product manager thinks along with the devs and along with the designing members, the marketing members and everyone, they decide what feature has to be done, and then it goes to the founders to be reviewed and implement, like optimized. So those were the two approaches that we usually follow. This Now we come to the second part, that is the design part, right? So designing. No, we are not changing the slides. I guess we are on functions of PM. Uh, So the second part, or the designing part, is basically where we design and define each and every part of the product. So if there's a feature, so for each feature we see what is the use case, what is the goal of the feature, what is the scalability of the feature, is it scalable, can I do this feature for 10 people, and after a month can I do the same feature for 1,000 more people? So is it scalable, right? So we see how flexible the product or the feature is. Then we come, after the use case and the goal, we come to the goal, right? We see that, if I am implementing this feature into my application, let's for example say that it's a mental health app, right? And now we are adding a new sliding feature in that app. So it's a feature, right? So now I'll set a goal for it, that if I implement this feature, how much growth or how much user satisfaction will I get? So we define the goals in the design stage, right? After, so first was use case, what the use case is, what problem this feature is solving. Then who is the user audience, right? That's the use case, right? Then we come to the goals. The next thing that comes is the requirements. Requirements in the sense the software as well as the hardware requirements for the product. And not only that, also what are the financial implementations or financial requirements that we need for the product. In the sense that some products, they are good. They have a good goal, they have a good use case, they are profitable as well. But the company is not in this stage or in the scope to invest in that product. So that also the product manager has to see, and they have to prioritize which feature has to be done first, which will give us a good goal, which will give us more benefit financially in the shorter or longer term depending on the company. So that is what we do in the requirement part in the design stage. After that, we wireframe the product. We wireframe all the features, how the feature is gonna work, how it's gonna design, and how it's gonna like pinpoint how it's gonna work in very simple terms. So that's we design, and then the product managers make a PRD. PRD is basically a product's requirement document. So in that we define each feature. We'll also look at a PRD in the last part of the sessions at the end of the boot camp. So there you'll see how we define a feature or define a product from end to toe. So there we also include everything, right? Then comes the third stage, that is implementation and testing. So in the implementation, the product manager works with each team, right? That is the developer team, that is the designing team, the designers, the product designers, the UI UX developers, everyone, and they work with everyone. They also see how implementable the product is. Sometimes what happens is we think that we are building an app, right? We are building an app to connect maybe servants to the consumer, right? We think the app is very easy, right, on the ideation stage. But when we get to implementation, we talk with the developers and we find out that it's actually a hard, it's actually hard to code and it's hard to deploy in the market. So that all happens at the implementation stage, and the product manager then has to think that how can we make it easier, can we cut short some points, how can we do it. So there's also a term dog fooding. So after the implementation we do dog fooding. What dog fooding is, basically testing out the features. So dog fooding is basically eating your own food. So the food you make, eat it yourself. So the product that we make is tested on the user, the product managers uses, the company employees use the product, and they test it, what the feature is lagging, are there any bugs or anything, and then we go on to the next stage for the release. In the release part, we prepare for the launch, the final touches, any bugs or anything that is pending or lagging is in the backlog. We touch it up and then we release it. After that, we analyze the what the release analytics were, and then that's it. Like that's what the functions of a product manager are on a day, very layman term, right? Now we'll see what similar roles a product manager can have. Um, yeah. So product management is not always about core product management. Like it's not like you have to search for the specific term product manager and you have to apply for it, and then only you can be a product manager. Many times what companies do is keep it a very flexible. Like you'll find at Amazon, they take product managers by the name of program manager. So there is very much flexibility on what a product manager has to do in the company, has to do in the product itself, and the roles also differ a lot from company to company. So we'll see how what these roles are, what APM is, what program manager is, what product marketing manager or PMM is, what technical product manager is, and we'll also see what business analyst is, right? So let's move on to the next slide and see what APM is. Is the APM slide visible, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it
Just let
is.
Yes.
let me know just if it lags or
Yes,
something
it
happens,
is.
right? Awesome. So what a APM is? APM is basically associate product manager. So this is kind of the entry role that, after graduating from your university, you could get into for your career. So APM, associate product managers, the same roles as product manager, but a little lesser in the hierarchy. So companies usually have, so the ratio is like there will be one product manager, 1 to 10 to 12 devs, and then 3 or 4 APMs. So that's what the ratio of employees in a company is. So APM is basically a product manager, but lower in hierarchy, and also it's an entry level role. So for example, to become a software dev 3, you have to join as a software dev 1, then 2, and then 3, right? So for product management, you have to join as an APM, and then you become a product manager. And then there is senior product manager, then there's product leader, and like that. So now the next one is tech product manager. So what happens is some companies or some softwares or some products are usually very generic in the sense they deal with a lot of things, right? For example, Amazon. So Amazon, the shopping part I'm trying to bring in, they deal with a lot of things. Like it's not just about technical part, or it's not just about marketing, or it's just not about business. It's about everything. It's about consumer. It's about how the market works, what people like to buy, what things are in the market, right? It's a collaboration of many things, right? So there we have just product managers. But there are a few companies or a few services where it's very specific in the terms that the domain of the product is very specific. For example, let's see banking activities. So we have fintech, right? Financial tech. So there they deal with all the banking and the financial technical activities. So there we need a technical product manager who specializes in that domain. So there is fintech, there could be machine learning product managers, there could be blockchain managers, there could be Android product manager, there could be web product manager, a lot of them, right? There could be data science related product manager. So again, so technical product manager basically depends from time to time on what kind of software we have and what kind of company are we choosing, right? The next is business analyst. So business analyst is kind of similar to product manager in the sense that they do not deal with the featuring part. Rather, they tell what existing features have analytics on. In the sense, just give me a minute. Sorry. So what a business analyst does is they pick up an existing product, they'll analyze it, and they'll figure out the pain points. So what that means is, for example, there is a product, and suddenly we see that the user the product is not being used, suddenly. So what the business analyst will do, they'll see what things are there in the market, they'll see the analytics. We use a lot of softwares, right? uh, so they'll see all Google Analytics or anything. They'll see the analytics, how they are going down, and then they'll do the market research and find out what things are causing that decline in the usage of the product. So that is kind of the role of a business analyst, right? So, for example, a business analyst for YouTube, they'll see how many active users are there on YouTube on a daily basis, right? How much retention is there? Retention in the sense that, for example, if I'm using this YouTube today, am I coming tomorrow to use the same app? So that's called retention. So they'll see what's the retention, right, for YouTube. Then they'll have a look at the geographical data. How many people are joining in from India? How many people are joining in from France, Finland, Italy, anywhere, right? And then they'll push this data to the product manager, who will see, okay, Finland is not working out for me. I have 1 billion users in India, but I'm not having like even 1 lakh users in Finland. So let's cut Finland out, as the cost is more over there and the income is less, right? So that's what a business analyst basically does, right? Let's come to product marketing manager. So product marketing manager, again, it's they work on the marketing side, right? So it's not about the features or something like that. Rather, they'll focus on the marketing and the growth of the product. They'll not work with the tech devs. They'll not work uh, with the software teams. They'll not work with them. Rather, they might work with the UI UX department. Ki, see, this login feature, it's not working out, it's not looking good. So they'll see, that, okay, the UI UX developer, let's work on this, let's make it easier, right? So that's what a product marketing manager does. So what do you think a product marketing manager would do for Apple? Just let me know in the comment section. What will you do as a product marketing manager for Apple? What do you think? Oh, we have some doubts. We'll pick up all the doubts at the end of a session, right? Works? All right. Let's not bite the app. All right. So I'll pick a case. For example, Apple recent work on how the product looks, right? Music. Yes, learning how many users have already used the app. That's also one part of the product marketing manager. They also have to do that. Oh, that's Divya. Even I'm a Samsung user. I also don't use Apple. So make the users realize that the cost is exactly, Rafisha. That's such a good point. That making users realize that the product is cheaper than what we are getting paid for, right? So exactly, lovely, exactly. So I guess you guys got what I'm trying to say, right? Now we saw what different kind of roles we have in product management. Yeah. Now we'll come on to the myths. So myths is the part that I do it in every webinar or any session that I do. So myths is one of such part, right? So let's come to the first myth, the first product myth. It's fine, right? Let's the note be visible, right, for everyone. Yeah. So the first product myth is that product managers are the boss. This is basically due to the two reasons, right? We think that product managers are the bosses because, again, it's a managing part. So we think, the manager has to do everything. They can have a good hold on the team. They can guide them. Hey, you dev team guy, do this. The designer, do this. It's not like that. It's really not like that. We think that the product manager is the CEO of the product. It is because they are taking the major decisions, but actually, PMs actually have no authority over the teams, in the sense that a developer is not obliged to adhere to the PM. That is, they don't need not obey to the PM, right? So PMs have to have that skill to have an influence over everyone else without showing authority, because they show authority and it goes all bad, right? So those are some don'ts. Do not step on the designer's creativity. Do not force the engineers. No forcing of actions. Designers should should get the chance to do the creative designing. The engineers could get the chance to see how implementation works. If there are two algorithms, there's algorithm 1, there's algorithm 2. The product manager thinks that algorithm 1 is better, but the designer thinks that the algorithm 2 is better. So let them be it. Let them go, because he is the developer. He's gonna execute it, he's gonna implement it, right? So that's the first myth. Product managers are not the bosses, right? They are not the CEOs. They are the CEOs, but they have no authority. So it's like powerless king, right? Let's come to the second myth. So this is like, I've heard a lot of students. They say that, you know um I cannot, I'll, I need a lot of experience. It's a managing position. How would I do it before, having a lot of experience? That's due to two reasons, right? Because it looks like a senior role, because of the word manager, and that is because PMs make important decisions. So we tend to believe that, since it's a very important decision for the product or for the software, it will take a lot of experience. So that's again a myth, guys. That's again a myth. The manager part is just for the namesake, right? In fact, you see in the PPT itself, it's written Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Yahoo. These are all these companies. There are a lot of companies, a lot of companies, new startups. They all recruit. Upstart Leak is there, right? You know about Upstart. So they all recruit directly from the universities. That is, they recruit fresh graduates. So you can actually become a PM right out of college, right off your university, and you don't even need much of an experience. We'll talk about how to get into the job without, like just after, if you are joining after college, how you can do better as a PM and how you can increase the probability of getting into that job, right? Can you explain? Yeah, coming to the see the the this is the point that you were waiting for, I guess, right? Do you need an MBA to become a product manager? A big no, a big no. There are only a few companies, very few companies, that really have a stamp, that you need to have a stamp on your resume that you are an MBA, right? You you do not need MBA specifically for doing product management. If it's an MBA, well and good. But even then, some startups and some other companies are also there. Some famous companies that say, no, we don't do MBA guys, right? We don't take in MBA folks. So, for example, Google prefers fresh graduates. Yahoo prefers fresh graduates for their APM roles. Microsoft, they recruit both. Amazon prefers MBA. And there's Apple, uh, yeah, uh, Amazon is there. They only prefer MBAs for their senior product management role. But there are a lot of companies, right? Apples, these are all good companies. They hire APM roles directly out of colleges, directly out of tech colleges. I guess many of you are from the tech, right? So tech also has a benefit, right? You need, if you have a tech degree, you can very easily crack into any APM role without doing MBA. It's not needed, guys. Startups are growing a lot. There are a lot of roles. So say Path is saying there in my college they hired directly. Yep. Divya says you are explaining myths, but what is the roadmap? So we'll come on to the roadmap. Divya, tomorrow, I guess, when we talk about cracking product internships and cracking the job itself. So today, I just wanted to let you guys know that what exactly the product management is and what exactly the word means. Right? There are a lot of misconceptions regarding it. So let's see. Uh, can you repeat, please? Uh, all right, let's just continue last few slides and then we'll move on to the doubts. Right. Role of an APM. We saw the functions, how they do it, right? And that's basically the role, right? The first part was designing or um, brainstorming, the ideation stage, right? So this is all about the ideation stage. Let's work it out, and in the end, we'll see how we can solve a simple problem for Netflix, right? Let's do it. So the first stage is, of course, identifying the problems that the user may be facing.
नहीं, मैं बोल रहा था ये अंकित कुमार का ही वो टीम है क्या? ये बूट कैंप अंकित कुमार भैया का है क्या?
Uh, no, I don't know. It's from Girl Script. Sanu. It's not from Ankit Kumar. So let's see what are the role of APM or PM is. So they identify the user problems as we saw, then prioritizing the right problem, right? We found out what the features are, how many problems are there, but then finding the right problem that has to be worked upon is the thing that a product manager has to do or the APM has to do. Next is creation of the solution. So brainstorming multiple ways, picking out algorithms from the dev team, seeing which works the best, and then picking out the right solution. Then solution implementation, that is working with the design and the engineering team to get the product shipped, right? That is what the summary was. So my question is, let's see a question, guys. Can you please mute your mics? There's a little bit of disturbance. So let's see a question. I'll give you a use case. Suddenly, Netflix is facing 45% drop off. Drop off in the sense that yesterday, if there were 100 users, today there are only 55 users. That is, 45 users dropped off in the subscription renewal. Renewal in the sense that we have Netflix. There is a subscription pack, right, every month. So from the last month, this month a product manager sees that 45% people have not subscribed or not renewed their subscription. So what do you think can be the reason? Let's think it out, guys. What do you think could be the reason for it? All right, let's talk it out. What do you think? What could be? So what would you do first? You know, I'm not asking the reason now. Tell me just what would you do first? What a product
I
manager.
think
Yeah, tell me,
if
tell me.
I am a user
Yeah,
and I am not getting very much updated about Netflix movies correspondingly, then I would get bored, and when I would get bored, I, then I would discontinue my subscription
you
from a
are
user
correct.
perspective.
You are correct, but again, it's from the user perspective, right? As you said. So that could be
Yes, yes.
one reason. But what is the first thing that you're doing? Tell me that. You are doing a research. You'll do a user research on what problems they are facing. So the user research, they could have a lot of things that came out. Maybe uh this is Netflix, right? Amazon also has their own app, Amazon Prime. Maybe Amazon Prime reduced their prices. So, it's in the India region, right? Indians like, you know, Amazon sasta de raha, I'll go there. I'll watch their movies, but it's giving cheap, so I'll go there. So one reason could be that. The second, as uh, my friend said, was that maybe the recommendations are not good, right? There any other reasons? Hike of price, bad user experience, people found Shreya says people probably found alternatives. Yes, there could be a new product in the market, but pandemic is over,
Actually,
everyone is back to work again. A
actually they
great
have
news.
keep on entertaining, means to attract. They have to make a procedure to keep on attracting the users so
Exactly.
that they can maintain the rhythm.
Lovely. Check if yes. So right, first point was identifying. So we researched. Let's see. We researched and we found out that Amazon recently, Netflix recently changed their
Hello, we are
payment
audible.
process. Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Is this recording available or not?
Ah, so your voice is breaking actually. A little bit breaking in the voice.
ओके भैया रिकॉर्डिंग अवेलेबल हो सकती है मतलब कि हम लोगों को मिल जाएगी
Uh, can you type it in
हेलो
the chat section? Your voice is breaking actually. Sure. So let's see. We did the product manager. You are the product manager. You did the research and you found out that there were three problems, right? The Amazon Prime, they reduced their prices. Okay. Then the second could be uh, the Netflix, the app developers, they changed the payment process. So earlier it was Paytm, for example, earlier it was Paytm, and now they did it PayPal. We know PayPal, so they did it PayPal, right? So the second thing is they changed the payment method, and third there is COVID surge in India, right? So these are the three reasons, right? Now, what do you think from a product manager's perspective he should do? Which problem? These are the three problems, right? The second stage is prioritizing. What do you think is the correct problem to work on? Because the one problem that he picks is going to be run for around 2 or 3 months. So which problem do you think he should pick? What prioritization? I'll tell you again. First is Amazon Prime reduced their prices. Second is changes in the payment method. And third is COVID surge in India. Lovely, guys. Lovely. Payment method. Yeah, that's the correct thing, right? We prioritize that payment method was it. Why? Because we know that PayPal is in the India region, people don't use PayPal, right? We see PayPal is not, yeah, as Nancy says, right? PayPal is not common method in India to pay for general public. They should get back to the previous payment method, right? Then, yeah, product manager should add more payment methods, right? Reduce the payment method, optimize price, promotions. Shivam, recording will be there. Recording will be available. Right. So payment, we figured out the problem. Now comes the solution. Now solution is the easy part, right? In in the use case that we've taken, solution is the easy part. That is, we can simply see if we could add more payment methods, if we could remove PayPal and go back to the previous methods, then again the product manager will talk with why they removed Paytm. Were there more taxations? Were there some government changes recently? So we'll figure out the solution and we'll just implement it and see the analytics, right? Yeah, exactly. See, a lot of solutions are there. So solution part is easier, but the main research and the prioritization part is sometimes very hard when we come to complex products. So that is something to be taken care of, right? Now that's it for today, guys. Um, we had a good attention span of 45 minutes. I guess many of you were active all the time. So that's very, very good. That's very good. Now, just let me know any doubt that you have, just let me know what doubt you have and from today's PPT and we'll solve it out, right?
Hello,
All
Anmol.
right. Hi.
Yeah, this side others. Okay. So I want one thing like you are asking us like we should list out like what all things should be covered up by a product manager like when he is doing a research, right?
Yeah.
Like if Netflix is his subscription is getting dropped to some percentage, then on what basis we will be figuring out like is the price is the main factor, or is the like the UI UX design, or the ease of accessibility, usability, anything that is impacting. So
Yeah.
I want, like, could you list then all the features that a product manager should focus on? Okay, like what all things a product manager should focus on when he is doing a research. Like under each and every category, there will be some sub points also, but we should get an idea like what all things is the, like what are the basic responsibilities covered up by a product manager while he is doing a like a research part, or while the product is in development phase, or is it delivered and then coming for maintenance phase, or any kind of sort. So what
Yeah.
all are the basic categories, like the main pillars that a product manager takes up?
All right. Sure, sure. Would it be good if I list them and bring them to you before the end of the boot camp? Does that sound
Yes,
good?
yes, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
prepare
that
some
will be
note
good.
and give it to you guys.
Yes,
Sounds
yes,
good.
yeah, sure. Okay, thank you.
All right. Uh, I've shown the last slide. How related is business analyst to the product manager role? So, product manager is basically working with the marketing team, the analytics team, the design team, the developer team, and also he's doing the brainstorming in every idea, right? Now, what the business analyst does is he skips the tech team, he skips the developer team, he also skips maybe the UI UX and the design team. So the other parts, that is the analytics, the product feature and brainstorming, that the business analyst is doing. So that is how, if you are doing those three domains, you can easily move to product manager role in the future. uh yeah, Davisha, totally. I just uh I figured it out in the mid session that I was using guys again and again. So I'll use folks now. So Priya
Mm.
asks, what is MAU? So MAU is basically monthly active users. It's a very important metric that we use in product management for any web app or an Android app. We'll cover it in the terms and technologies tomorrow. And there are a lot of different uh, variations to it. We have MAUs, DAUs, WAUs, weekly, monthly, daily. So we'll see how useful they are. Can you come? It's
One more question from my side.
yes, totally. Go ahead, Adarsh.
Yeah, I am asking like, is the product manager also responsible for the billing part? Like, how many testers should be there? How many developers should be there? So as to maintain the equilibrium in the billing also. Like the customer will also be paying less, and we will be also getting as per our need, like being an organization. So is that handled by product manager, or that is kind of role of that is senior project manager or group project manager or something like that?
So generally, what happens is that's not the role of a product manager. That's the role of the HR or the
Okay.
company officials, right? That how
Okay.
many developers do we need? But of course, the product manager could have a say in that. That we have a good product going on. We have a
Okay.
lot of amount of features, but we just don't have developers. So we need to recruit a lot of more developers. So that he could say that, but you know again, it's not his
Okay. So
job
that is
actually.
not his primary point, like, but he
Yeah,
can contribute some points so as to bring the efficiency in the
yeah,
work environment.
exactly.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Manaz. Loved it that you like this session.
Hello.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah,
How's
this is
this?
not a question. It's just something I want to know, like in the upcoming sessions. Like, will you be able to add a session where you compare this PM with other major positions in the company? Like, you will compare and tell what is how it differ from the other things, and like
Like product
this
manager
may take,
versus.
yeah, like which kind of people should go forward, something like that.
Yeah, sure. Uh, like you mean in the sense that product manager versus software developers
Yeah,
this way?
yeah,
All right.
exactly.
We'll pick it tomorrow, right? Do it tomorrow. All right. Ramya asks how a graduate can transition into field. Yes, yes, Ramya, we'll cover it tomorrow, and we'll see how a fresh graduate can get into product management job, right? How to get started with learning skills, we'll cover. It's just in the agenda for tomorrow. So, whose role is more important in the sense product manager is nothing about before, without the developer, and the developer is nothing about before, like nothing without the product manager, in the sense that product manager has to ideate and the developer has to make. So if the developer does not ideate anything and he just makes some random stuff, it's not useful, the product is not useful. And also if the PM keeps on ideating thing and he just thinks and thinks and makes a lot of features, he makes a lot of documents, but there's no one to make the actual software, it's useless, right? So hi Ayushi, nice to see you. What are the core skills? So um, I'll tell you quickly. There's communication, there's analytics, there's a little bit of technical background, then there's customer centric approach, then there's what else is there? UI UX design sense basically, and good communication skills. So in very brief, I'm telling you this. We'll cover it them अच्छे से tomorrow. Anisha will cover about internships tomorrow, definitely, right? Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ramya. We do not need coding for to enter in this field. You can just know a little bit of tech, little bit till what extent that also we'll discuss. But coding is not needed. I don't like coding. So, but you can actually pick up a technical product manager role. Then you can do coding also as well. So, thank you, everyone. Uh, that's it for today's session. Tomorrow we'll see what skills